Most of us step onto the train and switch off. Headphones go in, eyes drift towards the window, and our minds wander. That's normal, but in those rare moments where violence erupts in a carriage, the first 60 seconds can decide outcomes. This video gives you a UK-specific plan you can remember under stress: where to sit, how to move, when to run, when to hide, when to tell the police, and how to stop life-threatening bleeding with everyday items you already carry. We are not talking about heroics or speculation, and we're not discussing suspects or motives from any current investigation. This is practical safety guidance for ordinary commuters, framed within UK law and common sense. Welcome to Charlie Survival. Before we start, hit subscribe for real UK specific survival content for real world situations. And comment your best commuter tip below. Seat strategy, what you carry, how you plan, I read them all. Here's how we'll structure this so it sticks. First, positioning and movement, the seat choices that buy you seconds when seconds matter, and the quiet, non-dramatic moves that keep you off the X. That simply means not being where trouble wants you to be. Second, run, hide, tell, adapted for a moving UK train, how it really looks in a narrow aisle or crowded vestibule, what to say on 999, and when to text British Transport Police on 61016 if speaking out loud isn't safe. Third, bleed control basics, the simplest steps to slow or stop catastrophic bleeding using a scarf, a t-shirt, or a tiny first aid pouch that is fully legal to carry. Before tactics, the mindset. Think of it as 3 simple words: curiosity, options, decisions. Curiosity is about gently noticing the energy in your coach, who seems agitated, who looks unwell, where staff are standing, which end doors are open, where the inter-coach connector is. Keep soft eyes, not paranoid, just present. Options mean you mentally mark at least 2 ways out every time the train stops, either door, either direction, and often the door to the next coach behind you. Decisions means you decide early. The earlier you make small, quiet moves, the less likely you'll be forced into big, frantic ones later. To become more prepared for UK situations, head over to the Charlie Survival Amazon kit list. You can find UK specific EDC items plus much more to become more resilient. Click the link in the description after this video. If something feels off, raised voices, threatening behaviour, escalating aggression, your first action is not to confront anyone. Your first action is to improve your position with a calm, ordinary move that begins with where you sit. Seat choice matters more on trains than people realise because carriages create funnels and blind spots. The best general purpose choice is usually near an end vestibule with a clear line of sight to the doors. If the carriage is quiet, avoid being boxed deep in the centre with people on either side. The logic is simple: distance plus cover plus exit. Seat backs don't stop everything, they're not hard cover, but they do break line of sight, which matters more than you think in a panic because it buys you seconds to move and decide. Sitting near a vestibule gives you quick access to the intercarriage door, and when the train stops, a short route to step off onto the platform. The goal isn't to sit on the edge of your seat, the goal is to pick a seat that gives you options without advertising anything to anyone. If your gut pings, maybe a confrontation starts at the far end of the coach, pre-move. That can be as simple as standing up a little earlier than usual, drifting to the vestibule as the train slows, and stepping into the next coach or off at the next stop. No speeches, no drama, you're not overreacting, you're staying ahead of a problem. If things go loud in your coach right now and you have to act immediately, remember this: move first, think while moving. Break sight, not just distance. Use seat backs as visible blockers. Keep low as you pass row by row and flow towards the nearest door. If the intercarriage connector is safe and unlocked, take it. If not, use the furniture. Aisle shift, seat to seat. A quick sidestep behind a headrest until the next stop. On a platform, off is typically better if the area is clear and staff visible. Distance beats bravo, escape beats restraint. Your priority is always creating space and safety, not winning an encounter. Now let's translate run, hide, tell to a moving train. Run means move carriages or disembark at the very next safe stop. It does not mean sprint blindly, it means flow decisively. If you're with children, a pram, or someone with mobility challenges, plan a simple route that doesn't funnel you into a blind corner. Pick the slowest mover in front so you don't lose them. Hide means breaking line of sight and reducing your visibility. Seat backs, luggage racks, and standing off the central aisle can help. A toilet cubicle is only a last resort if you're trapped. The aim is to buy time until doors open, not to entomb yourself. If you do hide, silence your phone, dim the screen, and keep your mind on two escape options: the door you came from and the door you want next. Tell means call 999 as soon as it's safe to speak, or text British Transport Police on 61016 if talking increases risk or you can't be heard. When you communicate, be boring and specific. That's a compliment in emergencies. People often ask about the passenger alarm. Use it for immediate danger. False pulls can create hazards. Sudden stops can injure people. But if the threat is happening now, the alarm is justified. Use your judgment. Real immediate danger is what it's for, and while most passengers freeze, there's something else you might be able to do that genuinely saves lives in the 2 minutes before professionals arrive. Basic bleed control. If you remember only one sentence from this section, make it this: direct pressure saves lives. Catastrophic bleeding looks like heavy, steady or pulsing blood that doesn't slow when you first apply pressure. The instinct is to peek and seek if it's working. Don't. Plant both hands and don't let up. If you have gloves, great. If not, wrap your hands in clean fabric like a t-shirt or scarf. Apply direct pressure right on the wound and use your body weight if necessary. If it's a deep wound and you know how, packing the wound with a clean cloth can help. Press the fabric deep into the wound cavity, then press harder on top. A commercial tourniquet, if you carry one and you're trained, can be life-saving on limbs. Improvised tourniquets are a last resort and must be applied correctly, high and tight on the limb. Tighten until the bleeding stops and note the time. Keep the person warm with a foil blanket or coat. Talk to them, reassure them, and minimize movement. As soon as it's safe, call 999 or text 61016 and describe your situation, something like catastrophic bleed, male or female, coach number, near the door. Do not pull off blood-soaked fabric, add more layers on top. Do not pour water into a deep wound. A quick clean around the area is fine if there's grit, but pressure is priority. Under stress, people forget protocols, but remember phrases. Your phrase is press and don't let up. What can you carry that's legal and actually useful? Keep it boring, small and realistic. A pocket first aid pouch with gloves, gauze, a triangular bandage, plasters, antiseptic wipes and a foil blanket weighs almost nothing and covers 90% of what non-professionals can do. Add a charged phone and a power bank. A scarf or bandana is multifunctional. It can be a pressure pad, sling for warmth, privacy. A notebook and a Sharpie may sound quaint, but they're excellent for noting coach letters, witness details, and the time a tourniquet went on. Carry water for yourself. Hydration and the ritual of a sip calms the nervous system. Use sanitizer after if you've handled blood. Everything here is legal and ordinary. On trains, ordinary is good, ordinary is invisible, and ordinary can save lives. What if the threat is stuck in your coach and the doors aren't opening for a minute? Your objective is distance and angles, not dominance. That means you want to make yourself a bad visual target. Break line of sight, keep seats between you and the threat, and move in L shapes rather than straight lines. Use micro cover headrests, luggage racks, standing passengers as temporary view blockers. Shouting short, clear commands, stop, stay back, move, can create a split-second hesitation that gives you a lane. If you get that space, use it to withdraw. Do not pursue, do not punish. You're not there to win anything. You're there to get people to safety and give clear, simple information to police. We rarely talk about what happens after. Even if you were not physically hurt, your nervous system was. Adrenaline spikes, tunnel vision, and memory gaps are normal after serious stress. You might feel fine and then crash a few hours later. Help your body downshift with a simple breathing pattern. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out for 2 minutes. Ground yourself with your senses. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 you can feel, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, 1 you can taste. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 pattern brings your brain out of the loop. Talk to someone supportive. If symptoms persist, insomnia, intrusive thoughts, flashbacks, anxiety, ask for help via your GP or NHS 111. There's no weakness in seeking support after a major scale. You did your best with the information you had, and that matters. If this made you even 1% calmer about taking the train, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps this reach more UK commuters. And comment down below know how you prepare for commuting or what you carry, head over to the Charlie Survival Amazon kit list for UK specific survival items. There is a list of EDC items as well as much more. You can find the link in the description below. If you're new to survival or prepping, I recommend watching this video on screen now about 10 survival preparedness items that last forever. Click it and I'll see you over there.